Hey everybody, it's Candy, aka Brown Eyed Girl 69. Today's January the 9th of 2026. I got a few things to talk about. I'm going to do a couple things on the video. Um, I DoorDashed today for 7 hours, all day. Uh, I made approximately, I think, $62 today in 7 hours. So, not too bad. Um, I made 36 yesterday in 5 hours, and today I made 62 in 7. So in 12 hours, I made a total of $98.40. So not bad. It's only about $8.20 an hour average, but I've been here, there, and everywhere. Today I DoorDashed here in town for a little while, and then from like 11:30 to like 3:30 or something like that. 11:30 to 3:55. Then I decided, well, I'm going to go to Norman and get some smoke. And while I'm up there, I might as well get a Dutch Brothers. And then after I get that done, I'll jump online on Dash to see if there's anything available. Well, it let me. And I worked from basically 10 till 5 until about 7:30. And in that time, that's when I made that $62. So yeah, because it was about 4:49. I stopped. No, and then it started me again. That's what it was. So yeah, basically 4:50, 5:50, 6:50, 2.5 hours, something like that. But while I was in Norman today, I got some Plan Z. They had another one. I can't remember the name of it, but they were both indicas. And this is a 70/30. It says it's a 20.30% THC. Terps is like 1.4. That smells good. That's Plan Z. So I'm going to pour it into my jar here. I do save these bags. And I seen my mother the other day, and she gave me some of those file holders. So I was able to get all my paperwork, all my receipts and all that I've had just piled in a drawer here for a while. I got that all organized down there, and I've got a file that has all my bags in it. So let's try this Plan Z out and see what's going on. But yeah, I basically DoorDashed all day today. I'm happy. I've got an extra $100 under my belt. I still got plenty of money for my bills that are coming up. This next week, because I only had 21 hours this week, this next week he actually scheduled me for 28 again. So I told him thank you. So yeah, basically I'm going to try to get to the point where I go to bed early, like within probably 3 hours of me being awake or off work. So I'll get home by 10:30, go to bed by say 1:30, get up by 9:30, by 11:30 dash from like 11:30 to 1:30, and then still have time to relax and get ready for work on the days that I don't have to be there until 4 o'clock. Now, on the days that I have to be there at 3, I'll probably dash a little earlier or only start around 11 and stop about 1. But anyway, those are my plans, anyhow. Doesn't mean that's how it'll come to fruition, but now I thought that I had those in there. Maybe not. Maybe I was just kidding myself. Yep, they're in that drawer. So that's basically all I've been doing today. Just dashing around and making that money. I got home about 8 o'clock tonight. Well, back in my town. Then I went and picked up a few groceries and got some more water refills. And then I came home and boiled up some eggs. I had I think I had 7 left in the dozen that I had left. And I just bought a new dozen tonight. So I decided to boil up some hard boiled eggs. And basically, just been sitting here paying a little attention to my YouTube or paying a little attention to my Facebook. Today's been 8 years since Daryl passed away. He passed away, I guess he collapsed somewhere between 7 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. and on that night. And because I didn't want to accept the fact of what was really happening, I didn't immediately dial 911 until I realized that he wasn't coming back. Even though when I had them on the phone, they wanted me to try to perform CPR, which I did try because I think I was in the moment of everything. In the back of my mind, I was hoping that I'd be able to bring him back, I guess. Even though I didn't know how long it had been. I mean, I think basically since he collapsed, that was it. And then I had a friend of ours help me and him get Daryl back into the tent. And then I was probably in the tent with him for probably about 10 minutes, 15 minutes before I dialed 911. By the time they made it to our camp, it was probably about between 8:15 and 8:30. So he'd been gone for about an hour. And they, of course, confirmed it that there was no brain activity going on, no electrical impulses in his body. So they basically wrapped him up and hauled him away. 11 p.m. my time. It'd be about 9 p.m. in Oregon now. Well, at 9 p.m. on that night, like I said, they probably took him away. Shortly before that, the rest of the night I sat in our tent, smoked very heavily. I smoked heavily on the cigarettes as well as heavily on the weed. And then I started going through his stuff. I knew I could go through my stuff at any point in time, but I started going through Daryl's things and setting aside a pile of things that I wouldn't be able to use, but somebody else might be able to. And then I basically put all his things that I wanted to keep and that were important to him in a pile. The rest, I put in another pile. Then, the next day, I gathered all my stuff. I pretty much already had all my stuff packed. I knew I wasn't going to leave anything of mine behind other than maybe some bedding or whatever. Next morning's when I went down and gave everybody the news. And once I had a place secured for 3 days, I think it was, or it might have been 2 days, 2 or 3 days is how long I stayed with this girl named Patty. Slept on her couch. Was down at the Wellsprings. I was on Wellsprings property, so I was able to utilize that. They let me come in and take a shower every day and get in the hot tub and take a swim in the pool. That's what I wanted to do. But it was pretty cold, so it was January. Um, he passed away on January 9th and January 17th. 8 days later, I was in Portland, Oregon. And on January 17th, I was in Portland, Oregon, arrived that evening, and by February 1st, so approximately 2 weeks after I arrived, yep, basically 2 weeks after I arrived, I was starting a job. I haven't really said much about it today on my Facebook, but I did make a couple little posts. And I did make a post on here last night and posted a few pictures of Daryl. So if you are interested in going and looking at my posts, my community posts, hey, that'd be great. That'd be awesome, wonderful, and amazing if you haven't already. Um, like I said, today's the day 9 of year 1. So we got approximately 356 days left out of the year. But, one day at a time is all we're given, right? Seems like there's a lot of cray-cray going on out there in the world, but I don't pay too much attention. Today, I haven't been on social media at all. I was too busy door dashing. I was too busy running people their food and talking to my daughter mainly. I got to communicate with my daughter a lot today. And amongst all that going on, and she was finally able to swing by here today and pick up her laundry. So everything's good to go as far as that's concerned. She started a new job as a personal care assistant. One of her clients actually, they said, "Yeah, we're just old hippies, man. Peace, love, and we like to smoke weed." And she asked them, I guess, if it was okay if she could take some pictures of a couple of their things that they had hanging up in their house. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, sure." And she told them all about me. "Oh, yeah, my mom, she's Gen X, and she's 56," because I think this specific client is probably in his 70s, maybe early 80s even. Um, but he had a couple of signs in his house posted that Kelsey and Hunter had hung in their apartment in Colorado when I arrived there in December of 2019. One of them, it looks like a for sale sign because it's just red, black, white border. It says, "Sorry, we're stoned." And then there was like another one on there that basically says, "In this house, we blah, 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 blah." I can't remember all the words because it's kind of a long one, but I know a lot of the old school folks will know which one I'm talking about. Oh, and I think Kelsey said that he even gave her some. I don't know how much he gave her. He probably gave her enough just for like a bowl or a joint or something. Who knows? But if he gave her enough, I might ask her if I can get a nug just to try. See what his is all about. So yeah, I guess that's basically it. I don't know. I've been going for about 14 minutes now. I guess I'll reload this. When I was up there at the grocery store tonight, I was talking to my coworker Terry because we don't get to work together that much anymore. In fact, we were talking, and she's like, "I don't even think I'm going to see you this week." And I was like, "Well, what do you work next Saturday?" And she's like, "I close." I was like, "Well, I'll work 3 to 9, so I guess I'll see you then." Because I'm closing on Sunday, I'm closing on Monday, and then I'm off Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I do a 3 to close, and then I'm off Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday's 3 to 9. So I'm definitely going to be dashing on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Sunday I have to be at work at 2:30, so I doubt I'll dash that day. Monday I have to be at work at 3, so I doubt I'll dash that day. So I'll dash Tuesday. Wednesday I have to be at work. No, wait. Monday's 4, so I can probably dash on Monday. And Wednesday's 3. So I could probably dash on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. I plan on trying to make it up to Norman. After I get off work, it's like tomorrow. I'm going to try to get into Norman. I'm going to try to get my foot in the door and not give up as quickly tomorrow, or as I did tonight. But I think the only reason why I quit as early as I did, because I could have went on. I probably could have still been dashing up until this point and just now getting home. But that would have gave me a 12-hour day, and I could have made probably, another $50 to $100 tonight. But I probably could have made at least another 50 if it was busy, and I would have gotten some big orders. But then again, I might have only made another 20, $25, And I was just tired, had no energy, and it had been a minute since I'd ate some food, and I just wanted to come home and relax. So I think it's good to work, and I think it's good to um, do what you need to do to take care of yourself. But at the same time, I can see where DoorDash is kind of addicting to a certain extent because of the money. Like today, I cashed out 3 different times today. The first time I cashed out, I only had $20. But then I cashed out again and made $14.25, and then I did $27.30 my last go around. So today, I made a pretty good amount. I'm happy with it. And that's about that. As far as this Plan Z, yeah, that's a pretty good plan. If you don't have a Plan A, Plan Z is always a good plan as well. Much love, everybody. Really, honestly, I'm so happy considering that it's been 8 years since I've had Daryl. This last year has been pretty tremendous for me, pretty great. Um, I put my mind on getting something accomplished, and it usually gets accomplished. Um, Something changes, or changes that I'm made aware of, instead of freaking out over it or starting to worry about it, I just tell myself that it's all good and that I can take care of these things myself. Anyway, peace, love, hugs, nugs, and I'll see y'all on the next go around, which will be tomorrow on January the 10th. Have a most amazing, beautiful day, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are.